Waking up, I feel so damn good. I got a boner. My only go show released a new episode today. Gonna listen to it with my boner. My boner.
All right, everybody, welcome in to another edition of the On The Go Show with Jacob and James. I am Jacob, and sitting across from me through the airwaves is my wonderful co-host, James Jumping Jack Jackson.
Yeah, what's up, man?
What's going on, James? What's been happening in the world of Mr. James Jackson?
Nothing much, man. So I was going to hang out with someone, last week, and she works at a medical supply store. So she get off at 5:00, and we were going to meet up. And so I told her, I was like, okay, cool. She lives in Maryland. So I didn't know there was a Randall's over there because I needed a couple things. So we went to Randall. Well, I went to Randall's while she was still at work, and I didn't realize how old that place looks, and it smells old too. It'll smell old, and it's not really big. It's still got that the whole building structure is all brick. It's all brick layout. So it's still got that old school brick layout, and I did not know how bad Randall's is. The prices were just super enormous expensive, and I hated it. I was gonna buy some cookies. I didn't even buy that out of there. It was just the cookies looked stale. The prices were enormously crazy. So I just bought some. I think I just bought some chips and just got the hell out of there. I was like, you know what? Anything I need, I just go back on my side of town.
Dang, Randall's. I'm trying to remember where the Randall's is in Maryland, because I frequented that area quite a bit in my days in Houston. So I'm trying to remember exactly where it's at. Is it next to any other kind of store? What?
No. It's just in a shopping center, kind of. It's got Wings and More. Wings and More, Buffalo Wild Wings, whatever you want to call it. And then across the way, it's got a McDonald's and stuff. So it's like Buffalo, closest Buffalo Speedway when you're going down there. But Maryland, it's just, man, I definitely see why Randall's tore down. I definitely see why Randall went out of business, because it's not how to do it.
Yeah, Randall's and Kroger, man. They're.
I like Kroger's. Kroger's is good.
You like Kroger?
Yeah, I like Kroger's. And when it comes to baked goods, their baked goods is the best. Their baked goods are just A1 supreme.
I think I prefer Kroger over Randall's, but the thing is, the prices in both of them are just super high. Kroger's is high as well.
Kroger's is a little bit more manageable. I can kind of go in there and kind of get something out of there that's a little bit more manageable. Randall's, I couldn't get out.
Right.
Coming out of there, I couldn't come out of there with nothing. I could barely come out of there with nothing. And if I did come out of there with something, I was going to feel bad about it later because the price of it was just so crazy. I could have just waited to get on my side of town and bought it from Walmart.
That's a shame.
So, I told her, because she was like, oh, what did you buy at Randall's? I got this bag of chips. And she's like, a bag of chips? I was like, yeah, I mean, the place was expensive. I don't know what you want me to tell you.
Yeah, right?
It was nothing to get out of there. So, after that, we just went out to eat and hang out for a little bit. And
that's cool.
That's pretty much it, man. That's pretty much it.
Sounds like a nice day. I angered the radio gods this morning.
Oh, yeah? What'd you do?
It's funny because people in radio, they tend to be creatures of habit, right? You get in a groove and you kind of stick to it. And it seems like whenever you try to change something up, things mess up. So this morning, I decided not to make a coffee before I went to work. Instead, I decided to drink a Celsius because I've gotten into Celsius lately. So now I'm just stocked up on Celsius drinks. But I took a Celsius with me this morning. And on my way to work, I realized I left my headphones at home. I'm like, no big deal. I can just listen to the in-studio monitors. It's not the end of the world. So, but I get into the studio, or I walk into iHeart, and I'm hearing the radio feed through the speaker because the station plays throughout the building. And I walk into my studio, nothing. There's no sound or anything coming out the speakers. So I immediately have to call tech support and figure out what's going on. And I didn't have headphones to test the headphone box, so I had to call one of the other guys who work at the station who's asleep. I had to wake him up and be like, hey, do you have extra headphones I can borrow? Got the extra headphones, plugged them in. The headphones work just fine, but it's just walking into the studio, the speaker's not working. You never want to walk into a radio station and not hear anything.
Yeah, that sucks. I can only imagine.
Yeah, but luckily I was like, well, I hear the station feed. We're not having dead air alarms. We're fine. But in the back of my head, I was like, it's because I took this damn Celsius to work. I didn't make a coffee, upset the radio gods.
But don't you have like 2 headphones? You could just left one in the car.
Yeah, you would think I would do that, but I did not.
Leave one in the car and then leave one in the house and leave one in the apartment. So that way you don't have to, if that ever happens again, you always got a spare.
Yeah, I'm going to have to start doing that.
Yeah.
Or just bring a spare pair into the studio and like stash them away somewhere. Because we have a little filing cabinet. It's not that big a deal. But I was just like, dang it. Try to do something different.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're trying to mess up the routine of what you do. Either you're going to be late to work or you're going to be just going to end up forgetting something. I usually wake up at around by 8 o'clock and get ready, take a shower and whatnot. And it's not really like a routine, but I have a certain thing that I do I guess it is routine that I have a certain thing that I do while I go to the store and I eat a blueberry muffin and eat a banana before I go to work. And this one time I didn't have it. And it's like it was just a bad luck day. It was just bad stuff just happened.
Ruined your whole day.
Yep, just it ruins your whole day.
It's weird how that works.
Yeah, I really don't believe in superstition and stuff like that. But at that time, it kind of reared its ugly head.
Yeah, and it's never a good feeling.
No, because I probably never tell this to anybody else because I know there's one person. She's like I don't want to say voodoo, but I will say she believes in that kind of stuff and higher power and all that type of stuff. And
the spiritual, the star signs. Yeah,
which is fine. I mean, you got to have something to believe in to help you make it through the day. I totally get it.
Yeah.
But if I told her that, she'd just be like, see, you let me draw your cards and signs. It's like, I don't want to do that. I just really want to do that.
I don't need that.
No, I don't. I can't tell you the last time I had that my palm read and all that extra stuff. I remember when we went to that escape room and when she gave us that card, she was trying to read everybody's read everybody's hand and stuff like that, and it was cool. Well, it was a reason why I didn't want to do that because I don't believe in all that stuff. You should have your stuff read and know how things are going to play out in your life. I don't believe in that type of stuff.
No, that makes sense. You don't want to mess with the other side too much, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't believe in doing that. I believe you should just kind of chill and just whatever, take it day by day and keep it a surprise.
Yeah, don't piss off the spirits.
Yeah. And all that kind of goes inside, but also just keeping your daily routine and stuff like that also as well. I don't believe in that type of stuff. I entertain it, but I don't tell them that I don't believe because then they're going to give me a whole lecture. It's almost like going to church and then telling them that, I only showed up for Easter, which I'm not going to church this Easter too.
Uh-oh.
So are you going to church this Easter?
No.
Okay.
I think we're going to do like an Easter brunch or something.
Oh, okay, cool. With the family or something?
Well, just ourselves up here.
Oh, okay. Is her family going to, is Khadijah's family going to church? Do they go to church a lot?
They do go to church, so they probably will go to church for Easter.
Yeah, I usually don't really. I mean, I usually do. I used to go to church a lot back in the day, but then as I got older, I stopped going to church, and it seemed kind of hard. It seemed kind of messed up to say out loud. But I feel like I shouldn't have to go to church just on Easter. Why show up on Easter when I probably should show up every day? This is the one time in the year where everyone decides they want to go to church. Christmas time, I'll throw in Mother's Day and Easter, all the 3 times that people decide they want to go to church. And it's really annoying.
You think those are the heaviest church days?
I don't have to think. I'm telling you, those are the biggest, heaviest days because, it's Christmas, Christmas Day and usually Easter, Resurrection. Those are the busiest times at the church and also the busiest times at the barbershop too as well. Because I knew that the church, I knew that people would get their haircuts on Saturday. So I went in the mood for waiting in the line and stuff like that on my off day. And then plus too, I wanted to get ready for Wrestle Mania. That's on Saturday and Sunday. And I wanted to see Sinners that morning. So I wanted to get all that out the way.
I see.
So that's going to be a kind of a crazy, crazy weekend.
For you, yeah. Wrestle Mania.
Yeah, Wrestle Mania is this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. It's never been this late. I'm surprised. I'm surprised this is, they're doing Wrestle Mania this late. It's usually like around about March or early April. But now they're doing it April 19th. And, and then they changed it to 2 days now.
What are you looking forward to most for this WrestleMania? Isn't John Cena doing some stuff? This is his last year, right?
Yeah, doing the heel thing now, and it really hasn't really built in any story to it. He's had these couple days that was been periodically done, but I wish, it's not. How can I say this? It's not as entertaining. The promos hasn't been as entertaining as they were last year when you had The Rock and you had Cody Rhodes trying to finish the story. It was a lot more entertainment built. It felt like an Infinity War Endgame level thing that was going on.
Oh, wow.
This time, I don't really feel it. Like I don't feel any of it for any of the matches, to be honest with you. Hopefully the wrestling matches are actually good themselves, so that way you can kind of prove everybody wrong, because everyone's down on it. Everyone's down on these matches right now because they look like just run of the mill matches because they just kind of threw together. And even the John Cena heel turn, it was great when we saw it at Elimination Chamber, but now it's just, all right, what you gonna do with it? And he showed up periodically, but he hasn't showed up as often as you would like, to really build up this tension now, and this feud that he's going to have with this wrestler, Cody Rhodes. So that's kind of, been a little bit annoying.
Do you think them being connected to Netflix has anything to do with that? Like the lack of promo?
No, I mean, John Cena, he had like some movie to do in Africa. So I think that was some of it. So he everyone knew his time was going to be somewhat limited. And they went on a European tour, and he showed up like on the first 3 episodes of the European tour they were on. And they were good. He cut some pretty scathing promos, and everybody felt it. And like, okay, this is cinema. This is what cinema looks like. And then after that, it just started to die down. And he hasn't showed up since in 2 weeks. So it's like, okay, we're looking forward to. He's supposed to show up Friday, so we'll see. Hopefully, the go home show from before WrestleMania will be a little bit more entertaining.
Because, I mean, it's bold for them to start that storyline his last year anyway. This is his last time, or supposedly.
Yeah, I mean, well, I think it was supposed to be The Rock eventually. That was supposed to be, the next in line, because he was, last year he had a big match last year with his cousin, and it tagged him with his cousin and stuff, and it was really, really fun. They had to change their whole storyline on the fly. So that's what made the storyline even more fun. But this year, Rock has been MIA. He showed up at one time in Elimination Chamber, and boom, that was it. We haven't seen him again. So, hopefully, and I don't know the Travis Scott of it all. I don't know what the heck that was about. That was weird play too. He came out to the ring with him and stuff, and he has some sage with him and all that. It was so weird. It was just, that whole segment was just weird. Even though it was cool to see John Cena turn heel, Travis Scott was not needed to be out there at all.
Right?
Not even a little bit.
Doesn't he still have a bad image from that whole festival he did in Houston?
Nah, that's kind of somewhat went away. That's somewhat went away. That been died down.
He's on the ascension now. He's going back up.
Yeah, he's been back up. He's been back up. Everything's fine with him now. But yeah, so hopefully WrestleMania is a whole lot more fun. Then got NBA playoffs this weekend. That'll be interesting. So this is just little things here and there. So sorry, Easter.
Sorry, Jesus. There's more important things.
But you know what? It's not even about him. It's not even about the big guy, because I can easily read a Bible and read a verse, which I do. I read different verses in the morning on a Sunday. I don't need to go to anyone's church house. It's like that, because I that's just what I believe. I believe you don't have to go to the church house to receive the word.
No, of course not.
So, some people just think you just have to go to church to receive the word, which I get. You want to be around different like-minded people, but some would say like-minded people don't live in a church house.
Yeah, it's true. It also depends on which church you go to.
Yes, it does.
There's different like-minded people in different churches.
Yeah, exactly. And some people you don't want to be around. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, I don't believe you have to go to church to receive the word.
I don't think you should. I think that's the whole point of the Bible, right? It's like you can just go to church at home. Your home is your church. Your home is your worship and all that great stuff.
Like I know a friend I work with, he hasn't been to church in a while because he does it virtually. So he's been doing it. He had lunch with his friend, and he had lunch with the pastor. And he's like, hey, we really like you to come back to church, on Easter. Everyone has been waiting to see you. And he hasn't been there in 5 years. And this was since COVID. Because, when COVID hit, everyone just started going virtual. Yeah. I want to say the second time around is when everyone started doing the whole Zoom calls and stuff. So,
Right.
and church has really done a lot of it, obviously. So, because, you're close to people. So he was telling me yesterday how he just does not want to go. He's gotten so comfortable with it, with doing church at home. And he also tells me it's a long ride. So I was like, oh, yeah, I definitely understand that. From where he's at to all the way over there, once you get comfortable with something, you really don't want to deviate from that.
Right, especially on the stream and stuff. Like, hey, if you're going to keep streaming church, I'm just not going to come.
Yeah, I'm not going to come. Why would I come? Why would I take this long ride to go to church when I can just Zoom it? I can just stream it live. And so he really doesn't want to go. I kind of urged him to go. I said, hey, just show up. You can just show up this one time, show face, say hi to everybody. And that's it. You ain't got to go back no more. You ain't got to go back and just keep going back to the usual, the way you do things.
Or you go like once a year or something. I don't know. Just make the trek.
Because he usually has like lunch with the pastor all the time. So that's how he usually does that. So I thought, which I don't think it's weird that you have lunch with the pastor.
No, I mean, it's sometimes good to have a good relationship to the pastor.
Well, yeah. I mean, especially if you get married. What
would be incredible is if his pastor is Joel Osteen, because then I would be like, how are you even having lunch with that man?
Yeah, like where do you go to eat lunch at? You go to Taco. Yeah. I know he likes to go to Taco Bell for lunch.
Does he really?
Yeah, I'm like, so you have lunch with your pastor?
Not Joel Osteen, the guy you're talking about.
But the guy. Yeah, that would be funny to see Joel Osteen at Taco Bell.
I thought you had some inside information for a second.
No. That would be funny to see Joel Osteen at Taco Bell getting a quesadilla. Or getting the, a burrito or something. That would be cool.
Gordita Crunch.
A Gordita Crunch, yeah, that would be dope. And he's saying it all nice through the radio, the little speaker.
He has a fake mustache on, so they don't recognize.
Yeah, he got a fake mustache on and some shades. He already got that horrible mullet. Hey, look, I'm not. You know what? I shouldn't say horrible mullet. It's not a horrible mullet. It's a cool mullet, but it's that he's been wearing that mullet for a long time.
Yeah.
Him and his brother have the same mullet. Like him and his brother have the same. I'll take that back. I totally apologize. I should not have said that. You're not supposed to talk about the people in the house.
Speaking of Joel Osteen, have you seen the show called Righteous Gemstones?
I heard of it. I just never saw it.
Oh, it's very good. It's in its final season. Danny McBride, John Goodman, they're attached to it. It's basically a giant parody of like a mega church family. So like your Joel Osteen or your Ed Young or It's a little raunchy. It's on HBO, so of course, it's a little bit raunchier.
It's a show or a movie?
It's a show. It's 4 seasons.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is the final season. So like they're going to end it. It's going to have an end to it. It's not getting canceled or anything. It's just like, hey, 4 seasons and we're good. We don't need to continue this any longer than we need to.
That's fair. Even the Bear doing it. Bear's final season coming up pretty soon. It's coming up. I think it's coming up this summer. Which
is good because it's like you can only do so much story.
Yeah, you're gonna do so much story with the Bear. Like, okay, we open up the restaurant. I get the restaurant from my brother that passed away. I'm trying to do something different with it. Meanwhile, going through my own personal life.
Yeah,
we've had the other season where they went through everyone's life and pretty much which was I really did. I think it was the 3rd or 2nd season. They started kind of going through all the different characters, showcasing all the different characters and their life traits. So you've done that already. So the 4th season has to be. I think it was going to happen. I think the restaurants will close down.
I was thinking the same thing. It's either going to end up closing or he's going to lose it to Ayo Edeberry's character.
That's what I think.
Or she's going to end up leaving. But I don't think it's going to have like a super happy ending.
I wanted to.
Right.
But yeah, you're right. I don't think it's going to have a happy ending.
Just the whole vibe of the show in general, it just doesn't seem like it might not be a sad ending either, but I don't see it having like everyone's happy at the end of the series. It's going to be very middle of the road, very emotional, like the whole show has been.
Which, like I said, I think is, I like that it only has 10 episodes, and I love that it's on 4 seasons. I love that it's 4 seasons. I think every show should end on 4 seasons.
4 to 5. My rule was 5. I think after 5 seasons is when you start really losing like the plot. And you start having to make up more exciting things, or you have to do the jump the shark moments. See,
I say about 6 seasons, at least 6 or 7. I say about 6 or 7 seasons was when you kind of okay. What we plan on doing?
That's when you start running out.
Yeah, that's when you start running out. Like Big Bang Theory. Big Bang Theory was on 10 seasons,
something like that. Some outrageous number.
For Frasier was on, and I'm watching Frasier now. I'm still on season 3. And I watched Frasier back in the day when I was a kid because I don't know what it was. I really, really liked that show. But Frasier had like damn near 11 or 12 seasons.
Jeez. And they have a reboot series.
Yeah, they have a reboot series. And that show Frasier started in 1993 and it went off like in 2004.
Dang.
I was like, God damn, man. How many seasons, how many stories can you possibly tell within 12 seasons?
I don't know. Especially like Frasier is like centered around radio, right? He's like a radio psychologist or something.
Yep.
I guess it depends on like where they're getting their stories from, right? Like if you're getting from real life like experiences from radio hosts, you probably do have a plethora of material. But 12 seasons is a lot. 12 seasons is extreme.
It was just an extreme amount of number of seasons, man. And like it was a smart show because it was a spinoff of Cheers. Frasier, he partied, well, didn't party, but he went to the bar down there in Boston, and then he moved back to Seattle with his father, and his father lived with him after being shot because he had to retire. So he had to, he had somebody to live with him and stuff like that. And he got his brother that's with him also too as well, Niles. And it's like, I don't know how many I just can't believe I watched that show that long for 12 seasons, and Cosby Show didn't stay on that long.
Right.
Cosby Show didn't stay on. I think Cosby stayed on for like 7 seasons, if you can believe that. And that was Bill Cosby. I'm like, goodness gracious, man.
I don't know. Well, Bill Cosby was a big name back then before all the awful things came out.
Well, he had so many stuff though. He had so much stuff that he can just go to. So if he wanted to keep doing the Cosby Show, he could have kept doing it. He stopped doing the Cosby Show. Then he had Cosby Mysteries. Yeah, Fat Albert was before all that.
Was it?
Yeah, that was for all that. It came out like in the 70s. So
Dang.
you had that. Then he also did movies with Sidney Poitier, which is some of the best black exploitation movies in the history of time, in my opinion.
All right.
And he had those. And then he had, like Cosby Mysteries. Then he came back and then he did a show on CBS with Felicia Rashad. It was just Cosby. And he wasn't rich or anything like that. He was a retired guy that worked at the airport. He was just a regular dude. He only had one kid. He didn't have like 3 or 4 kids. And Felicia Rashad, her character worked at a florist store, with her best friend. I like that show personally more than I like the other Cosby Show. The other Cosby Show was funny, but I thought it was also a little cheesy.
I didn't realize he did 2 Cosby shows.
Yeah. He had one on the one on NBC, and then once he left NBC, he kind of took a break from TV. Well, not really took a break because he had Cosby Mysteries, and then he went to he did his own thing on CBS, and that only lasted for like 4 seasons. That show only lasted 4 seasons.
Dang.
Yeah, and it was only needed for 4 seasons. It was like 25 episodes each in each season.
That's a lot.
Yeah, 25 episodes in each season. So that helped out. So yeah, there's a lot of shows out there that, but Fresh Prince, I think Fresh Prince was only on for like 6 seasons, 6 or 5 seasons.
And that also got a reboot.
Yeah, but that's like more of a serious one though.
That's true. I tried watching it. I don't know. Did you ever take a look at it?
I think I like the first 2 episodes. It's not really my cup of tea.
It was very like CW-fied.
And they got a final season coming up too.
Do they? I didn't even know it was still going.
Yeah, they got a final season coming up.
Yeah, it looks like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was 6 seasons.
Yeah, 6 seasons. Like, they only let me get started because black comedies didn't last that long.
Right.
We had that show lasted for 6 seasons. Martin, that show lasted for 6 seasons. And a lot of that was due because, Martin Lawrence had a drug problem. And, it was showing up late to work and had problems with Tisha Campbell, his co-partner.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, that's the reason why that show didn't last too long. So
Moesha looks like it was about 5 or 6 seasons.
Yeah, Moesha was another show. And that show ended horribly. I hate shows that end with a cliffhanger. I just hate it. And for some reason, all our black TV shows ended with a cliffhanger. And we never got a chance to have a definitive ending. My Wife and Kids had a cliffhanger.
I remember watching My Wife and Kids. I used to watch that one a lot.
Yep, My Wife and Kids. It's come on ABC. That show ended poorly.
I didn't realize they had a cliffhanger.
Yeah, they had a cliffhanger. She got pregnant again. His wife got pregnant. Tisha Campbell's got pregnant again.
And then over.
Then over. Moesha, her little brother gets kidnapped.
What?
Yeah.
What?
All right, where the hell did we come from? Where did this come from? That's one thing I will say. I'm glad a lot of these shows now are ending with definitive ending now. Most of them are, unless you watch Netflix. The Netflix shows don't end don't end well at all.
They really don't. And you would think writers would learn at some point to just every season write it as if it's not going to get renewed. You know,
there's so many shows on Netflix, like so many dramas that I've been following, and half of them don't.
They just get canceled.
They get canceled. There's so much material on Netflix, like vampire shows and horror shows, alien sci-fi shows,
and they're not bad. A lot of them are pretty decent, like content wise.
It's decent. They just don't have a definitive ending.
Yeah, it's just either not enough people looked at them, or they needed to, you know, add the money to their budget for the next Millie Bobby Brown movie. Because Millie Bobby Brown just seems like a Netflix superstar actress.
Netflix got so much money, they can do whatever they want. You know, they got so much money, they can make trash movies for days. They can make trash shows for days.
I would argue they have too much money. It's detrimental to their to their productivity.
Yeah, them and Apple got buku money, so they just put out whatever they want. I want to start watching the studio soon.
I've heard good things about it.
Yeah, I've heard great things about it, and no one talks about it. But I've heard a couple people talk. Yeah, I've heard a couple people talk about it here and there. And it's one of the best kept shows, one of the best kept secret shows. I really, really want to watch that show.
I just think in general, I don't think a lot of people have Apple TV.
They don't, unless you got an Apple phone.
Yeah, unless you're already like iPhone Apple family. But then even then, to a certain extent, it's like you probably still won't watch Apple. Apple TV is not like a household streaming service. I mean, some of the stuff they put on there, it seems like they would almost should be. Because I think Severance is on there.
Yep, it is.
Yeah, and Severance is apparently a big deal.
Yeah, it is. So, I definitely want to start watching the studio because I've heard it's a lot of inside baseball. But
right,
I still want to watch it because they taking jabs everywhere. They taking jabs at everybody, even at their own selves, and that's what I like. They taking jabs at their own selves. You know, with these movies that they make. And how they're filmed and the budget, the outrageous budget. So I really, really want to watch this show. I want to wait. I'm going to binge watch it when all the episodes are done. I don't know how many episodes there are, but I'm assuming there's like eight episodes.
So far it has 5 episodes. That might be the whole season though.
Really?
Yeah. So they have 5 episodes out now. They have 10 planned for season 1.
Oh, okay. Cool. Well,
so episode 10 will come out May 21st.
Oh, okay. All right.
Runtime is between 25 and 44 minutes.
Okay.
That's not even a bad runtime.
Yeah, that's standard.
Yeah. Especially for streaming. Because like streaming, you can kind of go on for however long you want.
True.
So a good tight 25 to 44 is good.
Yeah, it's so standard. Yeah, well, yeah, you're right. Apple got so much material on there that no one ever watches. Mm-hmm. So like kind of like that movie Brad Pitt and George Clooney. That movie did terribly.
Oh yeah,
that movie did terribly. They were like, you know what? Because at first it was supposed to be in the theaters, and they decided. I guess Apple was like, "That's just not. No, we're not gonna make any money back off this. Yeah, because we're not gonna make any money off this. It's a fine movie to have in the background. If you want to get a couple laughs in the background and you clean it up, it's fine to have on. But it's really not a good movie.
I kind of feel like 90% of films are that. You know, like a bunch of them are really just good background films, or like you're good to watch once, but if you try to watch it again,
especially Apple TV, like The Gorge, hated that movie. Once again, 2 high profile names, you know, Anya Taylor-Joy and Miles Teller.
Miles Teller, yeah, you get the names in there.
Just high profile names, but the movies just don't. It has all the potential.
Yeah,
but it can never stick to landing.
Well, it kind of makes it difficult, right? Because then the question is, do we spend the money on the production value, or do we spend the money on the names?
Well, now you're talking about Netflix then, because Netflix does, they do both. They done movies, like I just got through saying, they got plenty of material, plenty of Netflix original movies that are either dubbed or either people that you don't know, and they're actually quite good.
Right.
They're actually quite good. That's so much. They got a lot of movies out there that's like that. But Apple got all the budget, but they don't have the quality. The script is not quality. They got all the good actors, but not enough quality. And Netflix does a little bit. You know, the Netflix has like that. They usually do movies with Kevin Hart and The Rock a lot.
And Millie Bobby Brown.
And Millie Bobby Brown. You know.
That's where she lives, is on Netflix.
Yeah, that's where she lives, which I'm pretty sure that's about to die down pretty soon.
Maybe. I don't know. But she's not getting any like big budget films, like actual theatrical films outside of the 2 Godzilla movies.
Yeah.
Outside of those 2, she's Netflix all the way. And I think they're gearing up to do Enola Holmes 3.
Oh, God.
And I almost feel bad for her because I realized, okay, you see her social media stuff and you see videos out there, and she's very much trying to portray herself as like, I'm an adult, I'm a woman, I'm married, and I'm a person, I'm an adult. But then you see all her roles, James.
Then they're all like little kid stuff.
She's always like a 15, 16-year-old. Even that Electric State movie, she's playing like a 16-year-old. And clearly, she's an adult. And she has a little brother in the film who looks like a child.
Yep.
And then you're trying to tell me she's also a child? Like, they're 2 years apart? I don't believe it.
I don't get it, man. I just don't get it. I'm trying to get it, but I can't. Eventually she's going to have to go learn how to walk on her own, and Something. Get out there in the big bad Hollywood world. Netflix can't protect her, can't keep protecting her.
You're listening to the On The Go podcast with Jacob and James.
I'm going to talk about The Amateur. The Amateur stars Rami Malek. The trailer was kind of like Mr. Robot, and everybody kept telling me how, because I never watched Mr. Robot. I only watched a couple episodes of it. Basically this guy in Amateur, his wife dies, and Rami Malek's character works for the CIA, and he doesn't know why his wife died. Finds out it's a bigger plan, trying to find the murder of his wife. And also, too, he doesn't know how to fight. He doesn't know any skills. He doesn't know how to fire a gun. He does not do any of that stuff. And, the whole CIA is all just laughing at him. Like, dude, that's not laughing at him, but just saying that, who are you going to shoot? Like, who are you going to be, like John Wick out there?
Yeah.
John Berthal's in it as well. It kind of takes you into psychology of a mind that, hey, man, this guy may not be able to shoot a gun, but he knows how to do everything else. He knows how to hack computers. He knows how to make homemade explosives.
So he's got the brains, but he doesn't have the technical skills.
Doesn't have the bronze. He got the brains, but he ain't got the bronze. Obviously. Look at him. Like, the dude's skinny, about 5 feet, buck teeth. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, it looks like Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, got that Simpson mouth going on. So it's like, well, what do you expect from him? I really, really enjoyed this film. It's not an action film. It's more of a thriller. It's more of a thriller. In these type of movies, I kind of already assumed anyway, like, hey, we got to uncover a little bit more than just your wife. There's a little bit more at stake than just your wife.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, it always usually is. That's how it was with Enemy of the State. It kind of reminded me of Enemy of the State a little bit. Remember that movie with Will Smith?
Well, yes, he says. We watched it not too long ago, I think. We did a Will Smith binge.
Yeah, I love that movie. It's one of my favorite movies of Will Smith. Very underrated film, him and Gene Hackman. But it kind of has that feel to it a little bit. The cinematography of it. It wasn't great, but it has that kind of feel to it. You can tell it's definitely done on a budget.
That's not always a bad thing, though.
You would never tell the difference. And it's very smart, driven. The pacing is very slow, but you're learning about what this guy does in the CIA. And you're also learning, too, that the CIA has got a lot of secrets also, too, as well.
As they do.
As they always do. And you're just on this man's journey, on his hunt to try to find out who killed his wife, why, and the bigger plot at stake. So, yeah, if I had to give this movie any stars, I give it 5 out of, I give it about 3 stars. I give it about 3 stars. 3 out of 5.
Here's a fact. It's based off a 1981 novel of the same name.
Yeah, novel and movie.
Yeah, it was a Canadian film originally, the first one.
Yep. Which I never watched. I'm hoping, well, I'm not hoping or not. I'm wondering if it was the same one as that. It's like, was it the same type of feel to it like we saw in this one? I'm pretty sure they added some more stuff in there to it.
Yeah, I will either, obviously this one's more updated.
Yeah.
But yeah, the original, it's probably.
And Lawrence Fishburne's really good in there too.
Lawrence Fishburne?
Yeah, he's really good in there too. I always love watching him act.
Yeah, he's always playing good characters.
Always, man. I saw him on an interview with The View, and he was talking about him doing all these different roles, and he says he loves it. He loves doing all these different movies.
Right, because that's what you do as an actor. You don't do the same role over and over again. You branch out and you expand. Rami Malek and Lawrence Fishburne are very good about doing different kind of roles.
Oh yeah, like this was a different film than Rami Malek has ever done. Very vulnerable to see him as this little geeky guy that can't defend himself. That doesn't know how to shoot a gun. Never even tried to shoot anybody. I mean, why would he ever try to shoot anybody? You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Right.
well, that's all the part I didn't like. It's like, you don't know how to fire a gun. Well, I mean, why the would he know how to shoot a gun?
Yeah, why would he want to try?
I work behind a desk on a computer all day long,
Yeah.
uncovering hacks and encryptions and terrorist plots. Like, what do you expect me to do?
So this movie had a budget of $60 million. So you're correct on the low budget part. It only made $33.3 million so far. Unfortunately, it hasn't made its money back, and that probably means it's going to get ripped down and put on streaming sometime soon.
Eventually, because we got a couple more movies coming down the pipeline, and you know, the more and more they see those movies, then the more they're gonna probably take it down. They can't have movies played at empty houses.
Yeah, of course, but no, it definitely sounds like a cool spy thriller.
Yeah, it's nice.
Definitely sounds like a good movie to watch. You know, a good breath of fresh air from your stupid action movie. This actually kind of makes you think a little bit more.
Yeah, you know, it's a little bit deaf for everybody. You know, it's not a superhero movie. It's not wall-to-wall action. It's not Equalizer. It's not John Wick. It's a thriller, espionage type movie.
It's a sit down and watch it movie. You don't sit down and look at your phone the whole time while this is in the background.
Exactly. You gotta stick with it. You know, so I really enjoyed it.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. It turns out one of the original actors from the 1981 movie had a cameo in this movie as well. Martha Keller. She's a Swiss actress. She's been in The Marathon Man.
How old is she?
Currently, she is 80 years old.
Oh, okay, never mind. All right. I'm trying to look back at my brain here. Did I remember her in the film? I think I do. Obviously I didn't notice her.
Right, she was probably like a passerby or whatever in the film. They normally do that, right? It looks like she's had an extensive career in theater from like 1970 to 2011. She was doing a bunch of theatrical stuff, like actual theatrical stuff.
Oh, okay.
And then as far as movies goes, it's like a bunch of Swiss films because she was born in Switzerland. Most recently, of course, you have your movie, The Amateur. And I'm not seeing anything that we would recognize her in.
Probably not. So you said it's just Swiss actress.
She's a Swiss actress, yeah, and it looks like any American movies she's done were kind of on the smaller scale, or they might have all been foreign. She was a voice actor for this French anime movie called Mars Express. That was in 2023.
I remember that movie, yeah.
Yeah, you remember Mars Express?
Yeah, Mars Express. Yeah, the anime. It was an anime cartoon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember it coming out. I didn't see it, but
okay.
I remember it coming out.
That's a surprise. You don't normally like anime.
I don't, but I do remember that name though. That name came to mind when I was like, oh, I remember that.
I see. All right. Well, there you go. That's your 6 degrees to Martha Keller.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I suggest watching the movie. I had a good time with it. It's a very thrilling type movie.
I'm definitely down to watch it. That seems like something we would watch, honestly.
I think so. I think so.
That seems something right up our wheelhouse. Because you know what? It kind of makes me think of that Killer movie with Michael Fassbender.
Which I did like. Had a couple things in there I didn't like, but I did like, overall, I did like that movie. David Fincher is the one that directed it. Yeah,
it was a great movie. So from what you're telling me about this film, it sounds kind of like a similar vibe.
Somewhat. Not
in plot, but like to the vibes and the emotions of the movie. It sounds kind of similar from how you described it.
Somewhat. It has a similar vibe to it.
On the Go Podcast with Jacob and James.
It's freaking rad, brother.
Rad.
While you and her probably enjoy that film, Warfare, I'm pretty sure you won't.
Oh no, yeah, she's not into that movie. We've seen the trailer a couple times, and she doesn't like war movies in general, unless it's like they're fighting space aliens.
Oh, okay, all right.
But like actual war movies, she's a no-go.
So you like Independence stuff like that?
Independence Day, freaking Battleship.
Oh, okay.
She's into that kind of level of war movies.
I get that.
It's fiction. It's fun. It's not as like serious as some soldiers in Afghanistan are just trying to survive, you know?
Yeah, because this one here is not for the faint of heart. And I do believe that this is one of the better war movies that was probably ever made. I really, really, truly believe that, these got these four guys. They're in Afghanistan, held up in his house. And this is a family house, might I add. The family's in the bedroom. And it's a very slow tension build film.
Oh, it looks like it.
Oh, man. My butt was clenching the entire freaking time. And the movie starts off with, little shows you all of them together watching on aerobics, watching women doing aerobics and stuff like that. Because they're horny guys. What'd you expect?
They're overseas.
Together, they're overseas. And that was the last funny part that you see. You better get all your laughs in at the beginning of the film, because after that part, we get back to serious land.
There's no comedic relief anywhere.
Absolutely not.
Movie?
Absolutely not. It is just tension, clenching, butt clenching. Oh man, it was just very, very tension built, man. So uncomfortable. And when that bow breaks, when that bow finally breaks, man, when that dam breaks, woo, man, like Saving Private Ryan times 10.
Oh, really?
Yes. Saving Private Ryan times 10.
Even the opening scene, or just...
No, the opening scene, like I said, it starts off very friendly and funny. These bunch of guys, they're just trying to show you the camaraderie between these two, between all these guys,
Yeah.
And yeah, out there, that's it, man. Just tension build. They go in his house, they seek out across the street where the terrorists are. They say, okay, this is where everybody is. The sniper is inside the room. They're on the bed. He's got us, looking at how everything is going on the street. And he's starting to see the terrorists go in and out this room and stuff. And man, it is just so good, but so tension build. Will Poulter, man, he's in here. He's definitely not having a good time. I tell you what, this is definitely different from Death of a Unicorn. That's damn sure.
Oh, that's right. He's in that movie.
Yeah, it's definitely 10 times different than that.
Yeah.
And then also too, Johnny Storm from New Fantastic Four. I don't know why I'm blanking on his name.
Quinn.
Right. Joseph Quinn. Oh, yeah. James Gandolfini, his son, is in here too as well. Yep. He's very
Michael
good.
Gandolfini.
Yep. Oh man, Jacob, it's a movie that you can only really watch once. It's not something you could just sit down and watch again over and over again.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's only 90 minutes. I know someone said that, I didn't like the movie because it wasn't long enough. I said, okay, you stupid. Because this movie doesn't need to be long enough. It doesn't need to be that long. It really doesn't. When you watch the film and you know what they're trying to do, then it's like, okay, why would you need to be held up in here any longer than what you already need to be?
Yeah, why does it need to be 2 hours long?
It does not need to be 2 hours long. The time limit is just fine. It's not a shoot 'em up, bang, bang type movie. It's not that type of film. It's not like any other war movie you've ever seen. It has a typical same beat to it, but it's very tension built. It's built off of tension.
You're right. It's not as shoot 'em up, but it's more or less like we have to get from point A to point B without dying.
And the whole movie is held up in this one spot in this house. It's just a very tension built film. You're not going to see a whole bunch of guns being going off until the back end of the film. Until the middle, all the way on, that's when it goes crazy. It goes big left.
Movies with one setting like that are kind of tricky. It's like a 50-50 thing, right? Because there's plenty of them out there. But it's always a question of, is this going to be good if we just stay in this one spot the whole movie? Like, what can we do in this one room for 90 minutes that'll keep the audience here? And that's hard to do sometimes.
No, you're 100% right. It's hard to do sometimes, but they definitely achieve it here. It's just a heartbreaking film. It really is. It's very, very well done. The cinematography is really great. All these actors really giving it their all. What I like about this movie is not Hollywood up. You had the real survivors that were in this movie. See, they gave memory of what they could give.
I had seen that, yeah.
So everything you see in the movie is everything that happened.
Based off their memories, yeah.
Based off the memories that they can only remember. God, man, it's such a good film.
This had a very small budget, too. It had a budget of $20 million, and it's only made back $8.3 million. So again, kind of upsetting. It's not going to make its money back, or so far it hasn't made its money back. You know, these two movies you reviewed, great reviews. They sound like great stories. It is just mildly upsetting that they didn't make as much money as they could have.
Well, I mean, I think that's how it's been for like the past 2 months now. It's just been rough for these movies. For the exception
That's
of
true.
Minecraft, it's just been rough. You know, I saw in one of the news, the Hollywood Reporters or wherever it was, you know, March was one of the worst months that they had in the movie theaters, in the movie theater business.
I can see that, and that also makes sense though, because like the March is a weird in between time, right? Because you're coming off the back of your big holiday movie season, and you're going into your summer blockbuster season.
So you're trying to save everything for your summer.
Right, exactly. You don't want to put out a big movie in March or February. Not a lot of people are coming to see it because they're busy with school or whatever else. You move it to the summertime, more kids are out of school. There's more chances of people going to see movies in general. Not that this is a kid's movie that we're talking about here.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Which I found kind of weird because Batman came out in March. The Batman came out in March.
Really?
Yeah, it came out in March.
Huh.
And it was one of the biggest films that month. And then don't forget Everything All at Once. That came out in April.
That one did big money.
That did a lot of good money.
I think that movie probably surprised people, the amount of money it did. The Batman makes sense though, because the Batman it's a household name. It's like Minecraft, right? You go for the name. You're not really going because the movie looks good. You're going because you recognize the material.
Yeah, that's true.
So like a movie like Warfare and The Amateur, not many people know The Amateur is based off a book, for one.
They're not very big IPs. You know, it's not very big IPs. And they're not that original, but they're somewhat original.
I mean, war movies are a dime a dozen, right? So I can see why some people would choose to skip out on this film, especially with the material. Yeah,
the sensitive material. You know, if you've been in the war or you sensitive to that stuff.
Oh yeah, the PTSD would keep you out.
Yeah, I totally understand. Like I said last week, it's all about people's sensibilities. What are your sensibilities about these certain movies?
Right.
You know, me, I tend to enjoy them, some more than others, because I think some of them can be very Hollywood up, very glammed up.
And you have to be careful about that.
Yeah, and then this one was not very glammed up, not even a little bit. Good. This one was very good. And if I had to give it how many stars, I'll give it 4 out of 5.
You know what? That's a win for A24, because I know you've been critical on A24 lately, and I kind of have been too, with some of the stuff they've been coming out with. So I think A24 deserves this win.
Yeah, that's true. And I do like the director because he did Civil War.
Yeah, that was his last movie. So he did back-to-back war films, essentially.
Yep.
One's more fictional than the other, but still. He's also doing the 28 Years Later movies.
Yep, he is. My only problem with Civil War, which I said last year, was that, you know, you didn't want to pick a side. Pick a side, my man.
Yeah, you're right. He left it very vague. I didn't mind it too much, but I understand where you're coming from. You would like to know who's the good guys and the bad guys in this, because the way he did it was like, I don't really know who's the bad guy or the good guy.
You left it up to your own interpretation. You kind of figured what was the bad side and what was the good side.
There's subtle hints and whatnot.
So yeah. that's my only thing. I was like, come on, man, just pick a side. I don't have time for this coward and stuff. Yeah. People going to either watch the movie or they're not going to watch the movie.
Great use of music, though, in that movie.
The music is great. Great. That last scene of them trying to push to the White House, you know, trying to help them get to the White House,
incredible.
Like interview the president. One of the best war scenes I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
Still one of the best war scenes.
Yeah, totally agree.
So those are my 2 reviews for these 2 movies.
I really like these reviews. I really enjoyed them, James, because I feel like, you know, the last couple of movies we've talked about, you haven't really enjoyed them as much. So I'm glad to hear you wax poetically about these films.
On the Go podcast with Jacob and James.
It's decent.
For the last story I got is, I don't know if you watch SNL. SNL kind of been on a little bit of a hot streak lately. I think last week, or was it last weekend, where they showed Jack Black, and that whole episode of Jack Black was money. money. He was hilariously funny.
Yeah, I heard about that. They had him on for a few skits, and it went over really well. The weekend before, they had Morgan Wallen on.
They actually made fun of Morgan Wallen that weekend.
Yeah,
that was funny too as well.
You know, it's funny because they tried to blow it up like that's a bigger controversy than it was. I don't know. It didn't feel like as controversial as it seemed like they were trying to make it out to be. Not SNL, but just like the general public.
Well, you know, as soon as he said, I'm going back to God's country, you know, you usually assume that's like, oh, you know, here you go, he on that Trump. Yeah. He on that Trump. Here we go, that Trump stuff. But no, he wasn't saying that. He was just like, hey, I'm a small town dude. You know, I'm not really a TV person. I just want to go back home.
I think the next couple of days he put out like some merch that said, give me back to God's country. So it felt like a marketing thing for him. It was kind of weird in that aspect, but like, I don't know, him walking off stage during the credits, just like, okay, it's not that big a deal, guys. Like,
it's not. I mean, Ken Thompson was just like, he would just kind of throw it off a little bit. He was just like, all right, that's kind of weird. But all right, cool, whatever.
But Kenan Thompson's been doing the show for 20 years. He's
seen everything.
He's had to share the stage with Kanye. So I think on the scale of weirdness, even for him, that was probably low.
He's seen everything. Yeah. But this past weekend they did a sketch on White Lotus. Do you watch White Lotus?
No, I've heard a lot about it. I think season 3 just wrapped.
Okay, so do you know the girl, the Allie Wood? I
just know she got big teeth. That's all I know from this story.
They made fun of her. They doing a sketch. We had Donald Trump was also in there too. That was pretty good. That guy that does Donald Trump, that's probably the most spot on between him and Shane Gillis. 2 of the most spot on Trump impersonators I've ever seen in my life.
Oh yeah,
way better than Alec Baldwin. Well, but they made fun of her teeth, and if you look at the picture side by side, it looks pretty damn accurate.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, it does.
I mean, look, man,
you can't be so sensitive.
Them teeth have made you money. Like I would say now, if she was to get them teeth fixed, she probably wouldn't make no money because people won't know who she was.
I mean, you know, I kind of understand it because people's teeth can be a sensitive subject.
I mean, well, for Americans, British people really don't put that much stock on teeth as much as we do.
That might be more of a stereotype than anything, but
probably. I mean, look, I think she's very pretty. She's a very pretty girl. I'm not coming on this podcast saying that she's ugly.
Right.
But them bad boys is huge. You're not gonna sit up here and gaslight me, and she's in a room and we're all sitting in the room talking to her. You're not gonna notice them damn teeth. You can't help but notice those teeth.
You know, fair.
How you feel about it?
How do I feel about it?
Am I being wrong? Am I wrong for that?
I mean, no, you would notice the teeth.
You can't help but notice it, Jacob. It's there, man.
Yeah, you would notice her teeth, but I get why she's sensitive about it. However, you are an actress. You are in the acting game. It hasn't deterred you from getting roles. So she could get veneers, and hopefully she doesn't. I hope she doesn't get veneers from this.
Oh, she can't now. Because she can't.
Well, I mean, she could, but yeah, you're right. Like, everyone would know it's because of this skit. Yeah, and so I hope she refrains, because I know getting veneers is like the big thing now for celebrities.
Oh yeah. Like even Denzel Washington. You know, remember that picture when he was at that boxing match, and he was he was doing that movie.
Yeah,
Magnificent Seven. So that's why he had that beard, that scraggly beard, and that mustache. He had them teeth. Got them teeth sticking out. That's exactly how Allie looks. I was like, she got the Denzel look going on.
Yeah.
Look, man, she is a pretty girl. Them teeth have made her money. Enjoy her time. If you want to get it fixed, you can get it fixed. But I guarantee if you get them teeth fixed,
everyone's gonna
probably make fun of you even more. And you probably won't be as recognizable in Hollywood because of that.
You can also just try to flip it, right? Be like, okay, hey, they made fun of me, but this also raises, awareness for the White Lotus show. So I'm glad people watch White Lotus enough to notice my teeth.
It does. And that's a good point. Like now, next season, people gonna binge watch these last 3 seasons, and then they're gonna tune in for the next season to watch them teeth.
They might go rewatch the show because maybe they didn't notice her teeth, and now SNL pointed it out, so they're gonna go watch the show and be like, "Were her teeth that bad in this show?"
Man. Ooh, wait, man. Have you ever seen somebody have you ever knew somebody had teeth like that before? You know what? I mean, my sister, she had a teeth problem, and she had like that one tooth that's on it was like on her gums. It would stick up, All the teeth
Oh, yeah.
straight, but you got that one tooth that's just pushing up there.
Oh, my teeth were jacked in high school. They were all kinds of messed up. I had braces for a few years. So
Oh, you had braces?
I understand. Yeah. Like 2 or 3 years. I think I got them off my senior year of high school. But yeah, I had braces from like freshman to senior-ish year.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, my teeth were jacked. They're still not that great looking, but they're better than they were. Trust me, they were really bad. I have nightmares. My teeth just go back to what they were.
What do you wear? Like those little what you call those things?
Retainers?
You retainers when you go to sleep? Oh, okay.
I did when I first had my braces taken off, but I haven't worn a retainer in years, and my teeth have shifted because of it.
Yeah. So you got to wear a retainer. Man, you should have wore a retainer. Like,
Should have.
I tell my sister to wear hers because she got her teeth fixed and she got braces and all that good stuff. She got that one tooth that she wanted to get out, which is really all she really wanted. She really didn't care about anything else. Like the gap teeth thing is kind of runs in my family. My mom had it and my sister has it and my niece have it. So it kind of runs in the family.
You can either embrace it or you can try to fix it.
And she's like, the gap never really bothered her. So the gap opened up again because just like you, she stopped wearing her retainers when she went to sleep. I'm not making fun of the young lady. I'm just going on. I'm just reading what I read on the story. I saw, because there's some video or pictures out there the paparazzi took while she was in London and she's crying. And she said on Instagram that was totally non-related to what happened on SNL. And then she said later, but it's good to know that people, told her, hey, I love you. You're still a beautiful woman and stuff like that. And that's good to see, man. That's good to see. I'm glad to see people still got a heart out there. Now, on the other side of the world, I saw a lot of stuff that was not as friendly as to her. So give me credit.
To be honest, I kind of feel like if she didn't mention it, no one would have really known about this issue. I don't know. Like, because the only reason I heard about it was because she was upset about it. So I feel like if you didn't say you were upset about it, this would have just blown over until next Saturday and the next thing happens. Hell, you had the whole, like, Katy Perry went to space for 10 minutes thing to happen this week, right? Like, so that overlapped you. And then even then, SNL is going to make fun of it. They are. So
you just got to kind of embrace it. And, you can't just be too sensitive about it. I understand it's a sensitive subject to her. But if you wanted to get it fixed, you could have got it fixed. You didn't. So there it is. Hollywood's gonna make fun of it. SNL. I'm telling you, man, that's just where it is. And yes, you are right. They are gonna talk about the Katy Perry mission thing, which I think people are overreacting on that.
Kind of transition here before we get out of here. Would you classify Katy Perry, Gail, and all them as astronauts?
No, I don't think they're astronauts, but I also don't think it was a government funded thing. So I can't get upset.
No, it's not a government funded thing. I think they either paid for it or Bezos's fiance upfronted the bill for it because it's like $150,000 for a seat.
Exactly. So why hear all these people saying like, "Oh man, you messing up the ozone layer. All that money that you spent that's been spent on this could have been spent on something else." How do you know they didn't know? How do you know these people don't give charities? We don't know these people's lives.
That's true.
I see all these different celebrities talking smack about Katy Perry. Wendy's of all people talking smack about Katy Perry.
I mean, Wendy's throws hands. Wendy's, their social media, man, they're spicy over there.
Oh, they spicier than the burgers, huh?
You're the fresh, never frozen burgers, yeah.
I thought that was so silly, man. So I thought, I thought that was so stupid. Yeah, look, it is what it is.
I will say, I feel like Katy Perry is going to be like 10 times more obnoxious though after this.
Yeah, could be.
This is the most relevant thing she's done since she's kissed a girl. So,
well, I ain't gonna say that. But she was pretty good, doggone popular when she had her hits and stuff like that. She should stop making songs and got pregnant with your boy Orlando Bloom.
She had a whole album come out last year and nobody even knew. Nobody was like, "Oh, you make music still?"
Yeah, her music is not as popular anymore as I used to because you got so many people, you got so many other women that are making music now. So yeah, that's all I got. That's all I got for today.
Hey, that's all I got too. This episode ran very long today, but that's good. It was a good episode. I enjoyed myself. I hope you enjoyed yourself as well.
Yeah, it was a good show.
Good. And hopefully, dear listener, you also enjoyed yourself. Enjoyed yourself enough to follow us on social media. On Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, on the go with Jacob and James. Just please like, subscribe, share us with your friends. Tell your grandma about us. If you want to follow us individually, You can follow me on Instagram at jacobdantone.audio, and you can follow James on Instagram at
James9794.
There you go. So without further ado, I'm on the go, James is on the go, and we're all on the go.
Makes me feel so alive. Listen to those guys talk about anything and everything with my boner, boner, my boner, boner, my boner, boner, my boner. Keep up the good work, me and my boner. I'm always gonna listen to you guys. Word to your mothers, your sisters, your grandma. Tell your Gam Gam I said what's up. Hit me up, Gam Gam, call me. I'll be waiting to hear from you. Let's go to the bingo hall. Let me stay